You too. What's good, your boy? Everything water on water is everything my familiar. Look, I got for you guys a crazy, explosive solar hunter build, man. This is crazy. We're gonna be having so much ignitions. Everything is gonna explode, and we're gonna get orbs of power, and we're gonna get our super, and we're gonna go crazy. If I like this type of video, man, please leave a like and subscribe. I got a lot of videos dropping for y'all. I'm being consistent. I'm telling y'all, I'm going crazy. But yeah, let's get straight into this video. Starting off with our exotic weapon, we're going to be using the TQ's Divination. If I said it wrong, I apologize. I don't. But like first with this, if you guys didn't know, before I used to think the TQ used to spread Scorch, but it didn't. It spreaded something called Scared Flames, which is its own little perk like flames it has to ignite enemies. But now if you have the artifact called Kindling Trigger, Radiant causes solar weapons to apply Scorch to unscorched combatants. Now the TQ now applies Scorch. So this is good for your weighted throw knife, which is going to be applying Radiant for us. This just makes this weapon so much better now because it's just becomes what I thought it was the whole time. So now you can spread Scorch with this weapon. At the same time, your scared arrows is going to be doing crazy damage. And if you have the catalyst, right, your perfectly drawn arrows that detonate the scared flames increase arrow damage. Striking targets unaffected by scared flames instead refreshes casualty arrows durations. So now this is really good with the TQ because now you can constantly, if you're hitting one enemy against bosses, obviously you're gonna constantly have that your scared flames at like maxed, like times 6, I believe it goes to that. But yeah, this exotic is really good. It got so much better. Like this perk, that artifact perk really made this weapon a S tier weapon and be able to be used against unstoppable enemies and in end game content too. This weapon is really good at end game content. Now we're gonna get into our exotic armor, which complements this weapon even better. Now for an exotic armor, we're going to be using the Oath Keepers. Now if you guys don't know what the Oath Keeper is, I'm going to just summarize it. It's basically what the Lucky Pants is for bows. You know what I'm saying? So what the Lucky Pants is for hand cannons, this is the bow version, but it's not as strong. So basically with this exotic armor, the perk is the bow charges can be held indefinitely, gain a bonus to bow charge when released. Based on how long the charge was held, provides a moderate benefit to the airborne efficiency stats of bows. The airborne efficiency is actually pretty crazy because now you really you gotta have like a guaranteed bow hit with this when you jump in the air and using it, if you didn't know. So that's really cool. That's a neat small little perk, like a passive perk. Also with this, now you extend your TQ. Now it does more damage, which makes this build end game type build. Just making a TQ like 5 times stronger by holding it down makes it that, because you're going to be spreading a lot of ignitions at the same time, doing a lot of damage, because now you can be held up to, and it's like a 5-second wait. So like every second it gets a buff of damage. You know what I'm saying? So 1 second is going to do a certain amount of damage, 2 seconds is going to do more than that, 3 seconds is going to do more than that, 4 seconds is going to do more than that, 5 seconds is going to do more than that. You can't hold it to the point where you can hold it and you get that 5 seconds. You hold it, you do hold it pretty long, but this is really good when you're going against high level health enemies. You know what I'm saying? So this build is really meant for end game content. Basically what I'm trying to say. But yeah, now we're going to get into our aspects, our fragments, and ability of this build. Let's get it. Alright, starting off with our super, we're going to be using Blade Barrage. Now, honestly, you can go with any other super like Deadshot or Marksman, but Blade Barrage is faster and does pretty good damage. Now, for an ability, we're going to be using Gambler's Dodge, because, while we're going to be scorching enemies with our TQ, we're going to be using the weighted throw knife. It's going to have an extra ignition that's going to spread, which is going to do good damage. Because we're going to be doing higher content, anything higher than 1700, 1770, higher than that, we're going to be using Healing Grenade. That's the only grenade you should be using when you're playing higher content. If you're doing regular strikes, honestly, you can pick whatever you want. So but Healing Grenade is always the go-to. Now for our aspect, we're going to be using Knock 'em Down, and we're also going to be using On Your Mark. You do not need to be using Gunpowder Gamble. 1, you lose the extra slot before your fragments, and 2, you're going to be creating a whole bunch of ignitions with the TQ and your weighted throw knife, which is going to be crazy. Now going into our fragments, first we're going to be using the Amber of Wonder, rapidly defeating multiple targets with solar ignitions. generate an orb of power. Now this is going to be really good, and also gives us an extra resilience stat, so that's really good anyway. But like, this is a really good fragment, because with the TQ and with your weighted throwing knife, we're going to be having a lot of ignitions, and it's going to be spreading. You know, with the TQ, when you hit an enemy with your headshot, it hits an ignition. Excuse me, it ignites and it spreads to other enemies, killing them with ignitions, which is really good. So we're going to create a lot of orbs of power, so we're going to be getting a lot of super super energy, and at the same time getting our super quick. Now going into the Emperor, solar weapon or ability, final blows, extended duration of restoration and radiant effects applied to you. Again, you want to be, especially if you're in any higher content, anything higher than 1770 and plus. Healing grenade is really good, and radiant, because one, our throwing knife is going to give us radiant, and then at the same time we're going to be using our healing grenade is going to give us restoration. So as long as we're going to be killing enemy, getting final blows with our solar weapon, which we're going to be using the TQ for that, we're going to be having infinite health or infinite radiant, so that's really good. Also, we're going to be using Ember of Eruption. Your solar ignitions have increased area effect. This is really good. Again, we're going to be creating a lot of ignitions a lot with your weighted throwing knife and your TQ, so this is going to be good to spread that. You want to have as much area effect as possible. And then also we're going to use Ember of Ashes. You will apply more Scorch stacks to targets. This is just good, just applies more Scorch, because we're going to be using the TQ, which is going to be spreading Scorch. And now with the new artifact perk you have. And then last but not least, we have Ember of Torches. Powered melee attacks against combatants make you and thereby allies radiant. So like I said, this is going to make your throwing knife radiant every final blow you get, because of knock them down, you're gonna reload your melee. So we're gonna have radiant. This is gonna continue the radiant restoration. So yeah, that's it for our abilities, aspects, and fragments. Now we're gonna go into our artifacts, stats, and mods. So our artifacts, you want to get everything solar. So you want to get Kindling Trigger, you want to get Torch, you want to get Flint Striker, you want to get Revitalizing Blast, you want to get Razor Precision. You want to get all of that. You don't, if you want to, you can get Heart of Flame. You don't really need it, honestly. But this right here, Radiant causes solar weapon to apply Scorch to unscorch combatants. So if you didn't know, the TQ does not give you Scorch, but now with this perk, the TQ gets so much better, because now you spread Scorch to enemies, while before it didn't. You know what I'm saying? So that's good. So you make sure you need Kindling Trigger. This is a must for your build. And then also you need Rays of Precision, which while Radiant Solar Precision final blows cause combatants to ignite. So that's really good too. And then go to our stats. Max resilience in any content, doesn't matter what you're in. If you're doing strikes, if you're doing raids, dungeons, whatever, max resilience always. Then honestly, I would say go mobility, but like I said, my mods don't really cater to this right now. I'm still trying to get the perfect gear, but this is what I got so far. But I always make sure my resilience is maxed in. After that is discipline, then intellect, and everything else fall behind like that. For my mods, you guys can just screenshot right here. Nothing too crazy. Yours for your chest piece. You always want to get resistance mods. You want to get solar siphons, and then you also want to get solar weapon surges, which buffs your weapons even more, especially if you're gonna do high-end content. But yeah, that's really it, man. If y'all like this video, man, please leave a like and subscribe. It's your boy Everything Water, and Water is Everything. More videos coming out for y'all. I'm out.